in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer will indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 30 to 60 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything's quite clear. Buyers is with my highest recommendation. While we offer fair consideration and competition here today, here in the heart of CRAIGIEBURN, we have the infrastructure surrounding us, which guarantees a great lifestyle, but also great capital growth. A free-flowing floor plan on offer. Buy with confidence, knowing that you're securing your family's future through capital growth. The market is certainly on the move in 2025. With the interest rates on their way down, the market is on its way up. So an opportunity for you to get in on that ground level and ride that wave of capital growth. I'll leave it with you now, buyers. Where can we see a fair and reasonable starting bid for number 39A Bainbridge? Who'd like to start us off? Where was that? At 380,000, fair start, and we'll go there at 380,000 now. At 380 the bid. At 380,000, fairly been offered. Bids there, opportunity with everyone else at 380,000. There's the competition. At 380 the bid now, fairly been offered at 380. At 300. At 90 now, take the 10 at 90, the same courtesy at 10 if you like. At 90 then, round me off to 4. At 390,000 at 400. I've got 400 behind, ma'am. At 410 now, welcome, best of luck. At 410,000, fresh competition at 10. At 410,000, opportunity back with you, sir, if you like at 20. At 410,000, at 415 now, 415, at 415 and 20, at 420,000, at 420,000, fairly been offered at 420 the bid, only taking 5 in the rise, make it nice and easy, at 25 now, at 425,000, fairly been offered at 425 the bid, at 425, at 425 at 30 now, at 430, welcome back at 30, at 430 the bid, at $430,000 the bid, first call at 430,000 done. At 40, in a great bid at that, 440,000, puts you in box seat, puts the keys in your pocket for now because we are on the market and selling. At 445, at 40 I've got, at 440,000, at $440,000, we're on the market at 45 now, at 445, at 445, I had it here first, Mike, at 445, at 50 now, at 50, welcome, at 450,000, at 55 now, 455,000, fairly been offered now at 55, at 460, at 460,000, at 460,000. We are on the market. We do sell here today. Not going inside, not referring to the vendor. I'm out here till we sell at 460,000. Bids here at 65 now. 70 can I say? At 70 now. At 470. At 470 the bid. At 470,000. Fairly been offered at 72. At 472. Welcome back, sir. 72. At 472,000. We play for keeps here today. We're on the market. We sell 72 the bid. Once at 472, at 475 now, at 475,000, bid here now at 75, back again, so you give me a big bid, sir. 77. At 77, I'll take it at 77, 80 if you like, at 80 now, at 480,000, at 480,000, fairly been offered at 480 the bid, bids there, opportunity with you, 82 now, 85 now, 85 at 485. At 485, sir, back there, we're done. At 485,000. Mike, how are we going on the phone? 85 here. Ma'am, are we done over here? At 90, and welcome back at 90. At 490,000, bids here now at 90. At 490 the bid. At 490,000, we're playing for keeps. If you come to buy, you must bid me now. There's no second chances here today. At $490,000 at 92 now, 492. At 492,000, still a few in it at 92. At 492 in the bid's at 492,000. 95, can I say, ma'am? How about take me to 500? at 492, the bid's there. I'll give you a moment to think about it. We're done here, sir. Thank you very much for your bidding, sir. We're done over there. Thank you very much for your bidding here today at 492,000. Bids here, 500,000. Great bid at 5. Welcome, sir. Best of luck at 500,000. What a way to enter the proceedings here today. Doing it in style at 500,000. Half a mil there across the road at 500, the bid at 500,000. Fairly been offered. Might buy it on one bid. Time will tell. At 500,000 once. At 500 or done.
502.
At 502, wasn't to be at 502 now. At 502,000, back against you at 507, sir. At 505, at 505,000, at 505, and the bid's over there across the road, opportunity on this side. At 505,000, ma'am, are we done? Definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. And 6 I've got at 506,000. At 10 now, at 510,000. Nice, strong bidding. That's how you buy. Big bids, buy property. At 510,000, it's just a big bid, sir. You can make one too. At 510,000, bids there. Opportunity with you now. At 510, at 511 now. At 15, at 515, the quick retort at 515. At 515,000, was that enough? At 515,000, has he done enough now? We're done over here. Thank you very much, sir. We're done over there. Thank you very much for your bidding here today at 515,000. Bids there, keys are there. We're on the market. We sell 515 the bid and
500.
At 515 and a half. At 515,500, easy bid to beat. At 515,500 now, almost had it. $1,000 bids. You've got the competition down to. Cause for optimism. Push on, sir. Almost there. At 520 now, at 520 responds with a big bid at 520,000. At 520, is that enough now? You're absolutely sure? You're definitely done. Thank you for your bidding here today at 520,000. Bids there, keys are there. We're on the market and selling at 520 now. First call at 520,000, all done. Second call at 520,000, done and finished. Third, final call at 520 the bid, all done, all finished, all silent and out at 520. Definitely done here, ma'am. We're definitely done there and here. Done over here, sir. Happy for me to sell to the highest bidder at 520,000. Can't entice you back in for a cheeky half or one? Definitely out. Yes or no? Need tonight, 520,000. About to sell over there. What do you say, sir? It's now or never. Can I get you in for half, sir? 520 and a half? Or are you definitely done? At 520,000, bids there, keys are there once. At 500, at 520 and a half now. At 520, 500 now. At 520,000, 500, fairly been offered out. 520,000, 500, only one to beat at 520 and a half. At 520,000.5 and the bids here. At 520,000, 500. At 522, sir, at 522 and back there at 22 now. At 522 the bid. At 522,000, has he done enough now? Now you're definitely done, absolutely sure. At 522,000, thank you once more for your bidding here today. At 522 the bid. Bids there, keys are there, we're on the market and selling at $522,000 the bid. Once at 522 all done, twice at 522 done, finished. Third, final call, $522,000 the bid. We are selling, 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 sold. Congratulations and well bid. Please join me in congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts, Rata and Co auction. Have a great weekend. See you again soon. Thank you. Thank you.